Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a self-evaluation of my prelim task where we recreated the first clip from screen one. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is how the team worked as a whole, and what I really liked about working with the girls was that everyone kind of brought their own skills to the group. So like Tiana had a really good eye for the kind of sound effects we'd need and where they needed to be placed. She was really good at that, and going onto YouTube and looking at all the different sound effects and stuff, and just figuring out which ones work best. She was like the perfect person in the group to do that. And then Ramara had a really keen eye for all the little details when we were doing the editing process. And I guess it's really important to kind of pick up on those little things, because a lot of the time it's the little things that will make it'll make the biggest difference ever to the whole clip. Yes, like there's little things that you might not necessarily see because you've been constantly editing and you're tired and whatever, and you just tend to push it to the side and forget about it. It's those things that your audience really pick up on, and Romara was really good at picking up on that. When we were filming, Nisha was amazing at using loads of different camera angles and movements. So when we were in the filming process, she'd kind of be like, oh, actually, instead of doing this normal shot, let's stick it up in the chandelier, or let's put it down by my socks to kind of see what that looks like. So it was really interesting to just kind of play around with all those different camera angles, and they ended up working really well. And then the way I contributed to the group was through the filming and all the background research on the film, and how we were actually going to go about recreating this. So I looked at all the different locations that we'd need, the setting, the costume, makeup, and just how we'd go about kind of filming this whole scene, and then how it would come together in the editing process, and writing the script for it as well. So the things that everyone kind of all chipped in with and we all kind of helped together were one, the editing process, and two, the filming. So the first thing was obviously the filming, and everyone came over to my house, and we kind of set everything out, all our research down, all our background research on the film, and we were kind of like, right, okay, where do we start? And we all took it in turns, trying to use different angles and adding our own little personal touches. Everyone kind of films in a different way, so it was really nice to see the way everyone films. So yeah, everyone helped out with the filming and the positioning of the cameras and stuff like that, and the lighting, and the mise en scène of all the different settings used in the clip. The other thing that everyone kind of chipped in was the editing. And this was really good for us because this was about the second time everyone's kind of using Premiere. So our skills are kind of raw. Not everyone knew how to use it like perfectly. We knew just the brown basics of how to use it. So it was really cool just all sitting there at the Mac, all trying to figure out how to use different things and experiment with things as well, and just see what would work best. So then it was kind of cool to just bounce off each other and find out what other people knew in the group, and then just learn from each other, really. So the next thing I would like to talk about is our initial idea, which was filming the Blair Witch Project, or a clip from the Blair Witch Project. So we thought initially that it would be absolutely amazing to film a scene from the Blair Witch Project, because it's one location, it's a set group of friends, it's pretty easy to recreate. Turns out it wasn't the best thing in the world, because when we were looking at all the possible clips we could use, they're really limited. There's not a lot you can kind of have fun with or play around with. It's all handheld cameras. The dialogue's all pretty much the same. It's all screaming and shouting and swearing at each other. So it didn't have like the kind of horror feel that we wanted to, or the contemporary feel that we were going for. So we decided to move it along to doing the Scream theme, which obviously meant we had huge time constraints because we'd spent a long time planning the Blair Witch, and when it got to going out into the woods and filming, we were like, this just doesn't feel right. And obviously that put huge pressure on making the Scream clip, because we had hardly any time to film and even less time to edit. So that at that point it was really important that we all kind of stuck together, really motivated each other, respected everyone's ideas. Where some people had suggestions and other people had different ones, it was important that we looked at everyone's and figured out what the best solution would be. So that kind of ties into the next thing I want to talk about, which is what we all did really well. And personally, I think we all worked really, really well together. We respected each other, so we respected each other's ideas. No one's idea was kind of shoved to the side. Everyone's ideas were considered, and we tried loads of things out. Another thing was everyone kind of contributed. There was not a single time or moment where one person was doing something by themselves. There'd always be someone else there helping, and then the others would come join or whatever. There was always people working together. There was never a moment where anyone was alone. So thinking about the real thing now, so that was just a prelim class. So moving on to what the real clip is going to be like. There are a few things that obviously I'd like to keep the same, which is I really liked how we'd made a WhatsApp group, which I can just show you now. So we had a media horror WhatsApp group where we just got to all like contribute our ideas and things like that, and it was really good, especially with figuring out like timetables and stuff, when some people were free, when others weren't, so who could be working on the project at one time, and then maybe someone else could work on it at another time, or things like that. So it was a really, really good way of communicating. So that's something I'd really like to carry forward into making the real movie trailer. The other thing I think I'd probably like to work on a bit better is working with a bit more time efficiency. I might just be saying that because of the fact that we had the issue with the Blair Witch Project and then moving on to the screen clip, but I think it's really, really important that everything's timed well and everything's planned out, so we follow a schedule, nothing's going to fall behind. If something happens, such as like we lose footage or someone can't make it one day, we know that we have a structured plan to follow, and that there's not really a chance that we'd fall behind, miss a deadline, or things just get really chaotic and messy. But all in all, I think the project went really well, and yeah, there wasn't a time where there was any negativity in the group either, and it was really fun. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. So that's the end of that video, and hopefully when I come to working in my new group, or maybe the same group for the trailer, I'll be carrying forward all the good things that I learnt from doing this prelim task.